Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Pokemon Battle Series, The School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set to the VGC 2017 season. So we started off yesterday's episodes with a new team after the team review episode, where we kind of constructed a very similar core to what's been seen quite a lot frequently throughout this season, which is the Torkoal Oranguru core with the Lilligant. We've added a few kind of our own spins onto the team, and we had a good start to the episode yesterday, so hopefully we can kind of continue that on today. Obviously the Gyarados is an inclusion in the team that you don't commonly see with this archetype. It does conflict obviously with the Gyarados being a water type and using water type moves. It conflicts with the sun, the drought ability that the Torkoal can bring to the field. So we do need to be careful of that and mindful of that, and just manage the field well if we get into situations where that can kind of conflict. But we have our first opponent from Brazil on a rating of 1536 with a team of Smeagol, Gyarados, Tapu Koko, Nihilego, Hariyama and Porygon Z. So I would say there was a definite Trick Room mod in this team, with the Hariyama and the Smeagol, and possibly the Porygon Z being the Trick Room user there. I do feel as though Garchomp's really strong here, and I think I'll probably lead Garchomp, Tapu Lele, and just leading Tapu Lele just because I can stop any fake out with the Psychic Terrain. I should be slower than the Tapu Koko as well, so that can kind of prevent that. We do need to be careful of my opponent switching in a Tapu Koko, but leading with the Garchomp, it kind of puts my opponent off doing that so much anyway. What else are we going to need? Do we go for the Trick Room mode here? Maybe not. The Oranguru's not too bad here, to be honest, because it can hit the Hariyama for good damage, the Nihilego for good damage, and if we can get a Trick Room up, we're not in too bad a position, to be honest. I might go with that. I might lead with Garchomp, Lele, Torkoal and Oranguru and lock in with that. And we'll see how we get on in our first match of today. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Obviously counting down the days till the weekend, till the International Challenge, the first online tournament that we've had this season for VGC under Sun and Moon, so it's quite exciting. If you guys haven't signed up to it, it's definitely worth playing in if you haven't played in something like that before. It's normally about 15 matches per day, running over Friday, Saturday and Sunday, so I'll leave a description in the link below if you guys want to check that out and sign up. So my opponent is leading off with the Porygon Z and the Smeagol, so we will get the Psychic Terrain up, and let's see what we do. So we need to be mindful of either a Trick Room coming up from that Porygon Z. Could also have the conversion, so it could convert Z conversion, boost all its stats, or it might be a Scarfed variant, or it could even be just a Z move variant. So that's the problem with playing it. There's so many different varieties, but with the Smeagol it kind of may shout out that it is let's see, what can we do here? I think I'm just going to go Rock Slide, and I'm going to go for a Psychic into the Porygon Z, and we'll see what my opponent goes for here. I'd imagine maybe a Follow Me from the Smeagol, or even a Wide Guard, but it's not likely a Wide Guard. Porygon Z actually goes for a Protect here, so what we're going to see the Smeagol do. Garchomp does go before the Smeagol, and we will get the Rock Slide off and make contact. There's always a chance that we can pick up a flinch here, which would be nice. Psychic into the Protect from the Porygon Z, and the Smeagol does flinch. So we do get very lucky there with our flinches. We do see an evasive fall. I didn't see the boost there, which is a bit unfortunate. But I think I'm just going to go for the same play again. Psychic into the Porygon Z. We know hopefully we will outspeed it with our Tapu Lele, and we should chip down that Smeagol a bit more with the Garchomp's Rock Slide. So you can't bank on flinches. Obviously, it's always going to be something that can happen if you're in a position where you're Rock Sliding first. It's always a possibility, but it's not something to kind of base players on, really. Smeagol goes for the Follow Me. So we will get another Rock Slide off. It will hit both my opponent's Pokemon. We just miss out the KO onto the Smeagol, and we take an Ice Beam from the Porygon Z, which does KO our Garchomp. We will get the Psychic off though onto the Smeagol. And we do know as well that the Porygon Z is outspeeding our Tapu Lele now. So what I might do here is bring in my Oranguru and try and get a Trick Room up. And then hopefully we can kind of start with a big Torkoal sweep. So we'll see what my opponent's going to bring in. We're both down to our last 3 Pokemon. My opponent just thinking carefully about what options he's got and what he wants to bring in here. So we bring in the Oranguru, and my opponent brings in the Gyarados. So we have to be quite aware that the Gyarados could carry Taunt. So what are we going to do? I think what I might do is just protect with my Oranguru, just in preparation for that Taunt possibly, and go for a T-Bolt onto the Gyarados. Because if we lose Tapu Lele here, at least we can bring in the Torkoal for free, and then we can get, and we've got that Z Trick Room that we can take advantage of if we do see a Taunt, just to make sure that we get the Trick Room up, and then we can kind of go from there. So we're going to protect with the Oranguru. We see a Thunderbolt come out from the Porygon Z, and we get a Thunderbolt off onto the Gyarados. This should pick up the KO, yeah, which is really nice. So we don't even get to see if my opponent has the Taunt, and I wouldn't presume that Porygon Z is carrying anything. It might carry a Z move, so we do need to be mindful of that. And we do see the Nihilego. So what I'm going to do here is go for a Trick Room with my Oranguru, and I'm going to go for a Psychic onto onto the Nihilego. Because I think my opponent's best shot here is to double into the Oranguru and hope it kind of takes it down. It shouldn't do, but this actually works out ideal for us. So we're going to lose the Tapu Lele here, as long as our Oranguru doesn't go down. So the Nihilego gets a Beast Boost. We are going to see a Z move from that Porygon Z, and I don't know whether we'll be able to survive this. So this might not work out as well as we kind of initially thought. So actually my opponent goes for the Z conversion. So we're not going to see any big breakneck berserk moves coming out, and we get the Trick Room off with our Oranguru, which is pretty huge. So that's super good. So I'll bring in my Torkoal. Now I would say the biggest threat at the minute is that Nihilego to us, but is it just going to go for a Protect? So what I'm going to do here is go for the Z, because we've still got the Psychic Terrain up, so I'm going to go for a Shattered Psyche, if I can get my words out, onto the Nihilego, because even if it protects, well then, if it's got a Sash, we're breaking the Sash at that point. And I'm just going to go for an Eruption as well with my Torkoal, just to get as much damage onto that Porygon Z as I possibly can. And again, if the Nihilego doesn't protect this turn, we are breaking the Sash, and then the Z Psychic move should pick up the KO. The Shattered Psyche should pick up the KO on the Nihilego. So, let's see what my opponent is going to go for, but we're in not too bad a position at this point. Oh, and my opponent disconnects. Or is that me? No, it was my opponent. So that's super unfortunate. We still had 4 turns of Trick Room to go there, and the Porygon Z had revealed T-Bolt, Ice Beam, and the conversion. So I don't know if he had enough in the tank to kind of deal with the team from that point. A bit unfortunate we couldn't see it out, but just one of those things. His internet connection might have went down, you never know, but we will never know the outcome of that match. I feel pretty confident we would have taken that though. So without that, we'll just look for our next opponent quickly. So it's not great having a disconnect on the first one, but at least we can kind of go into that thinking that we probably would have picked the win there. Yeah, I can't really see. I mean, even if the Nihilego are protected, we would have broke the sash, and we still... I mean, the Psychic Trim may have ran out that next turn, but then the Psychic plus an Eruption or a Flamethrower would have been enough to take out the Nihilego the next turn after that. So I think we were sitting in a pretty good position, and I think between the Oranguru and the Torkoal in the Trick Room, we would have had enough once the Nihilego had been taken down to easily deal with the Porygon Z as well, even after the conversion boost. So, yep, that is that. So, hopefully we find an opponent pretty quickly. It is taking a bit longer. Hopefully, game says play. It is thinking about it. It's doing something. So, yes. It'd be interesting to know as well, guys, if you are taking part in the international challenge this weekend, to just post your results next week. Let me know how you got on, how you find the tournament, if it's your first one, if it's your first time competing in one, anything like that. It'd just be good to know how your experience has gone with the tournament as well. Yeah, we couldn't find an opponent. No one wants to play with us, so we'll quickly just jump on, hopefully find someone a bit quicker. Right, championship battle rules. It's so annoying when it happens like that. You can't find an opponent. It would be great if there was just you could kind of just click in to search again rather than go through all of this every time. But I guess we can't have everything. So what music are we going to have? We should have something different. We always kind of stick to the same few. Let's go for Island Kahuna. I can't really remember this from playing through it, so might be a little bit different, but like I say, guys, I am enjoying the team so far. What we've kind of seen of it, it seems pretty good. Obviously, the Torkoal Oranguru kind of core is, like I've said a million times already, it is quite a popular core that we've seen a lot throughout the season. But it's definitely worth, if you haven't tried it out, I would definitely say it's worth playing just to kind of get a feel of how the team kind of the core works, and you know. It's one of those things. It's nice. It's always good to try new teams and popular teams as well, because you kind of, by doing that, you kind of discover and uncover the holes in the teams, which gives you that information for going on when building your teams to, you know, identify things that team particularly struggle against, and you can kind of include that in your team building for whatever team you're building if you want to kind of cover that core as well. So that sort of thing it does help with. Anyway, we've got our next opponent from Japan, running a team of Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Tapu Lele, Arcanine, Mandibuzz, and Celesteela. So quite a common looking core. 6 Pokemon. We've got the fast mode with the Garchomp, Tapu Koko. We've got the common lead, which we sometimes see between the Lele and the Arcanine, and then we've got the speed control that we need to watch out for with the Mandibuzz, and just the defensive pivot in Celesteela that can cause us a few problems if we're not careful. Obviously, we've got the Torkoal there, so I'd imagine my opponent to maybe lead the Tapu Koko on either Garchomp or Arcanine here. So what are we going to do to kind of combat that? So I think I might lead my Garchomp, because we are scarfed, and then what can we lead with it? Now the Tapu Lele might not be a bad option to lead with it, to be honest. So I'm going to lead my Tapu Lele with it. I definitely want to bring my Torkoal here. And I think I'm definitely going to bring Oranguru here as well, because if I can get the Trick Room set up, it's going to put me in such a good position against pretty much everything that my opponent's got. The Torkoal is definitely going to be underspeeding everything that my opponent has. So if we can get that Trick Room up, it puts us in a really good advantage to go forward in the match. So we'll see how we can get on with these, but let's not take anything for granted. We just need to manage the field and make sure that we're taking note of what's happening. And what my opponent's trying to do. So let's see what my opponent actually leads off with the Lele and Mandibus. So we don't see the Tapu Koko or the Arcanine. So I presume the Arcanine is probably in the back. So we do see the Psychic Terrain come on to the field. The Mandibus has the Psychic Seed, which boosts its special defense. Now what do we go for here? Now we could double into the Lele, but then we have to be careful, because if this Lele is scarfed, which it could potentially be, it will be, you know, we can get an attack off first, but we're not going to be able to pick up a KO on it before it can do some big damage. So I think what I might do here is, should I just get some damage off, really? I think I might. I think I'm going to go for a Rock Slide, and I'm going to go for a Moonblast into the Lele. So the Tapu Lele actually protects here, so we're probably going to see a Tailwind come up from the Mandibuzz. We will get the Rock Slide off first. Can we get another flinch? So all this Garchomp seems to be able to do is pick up flinches, so it does some good damage with that Rock Slide onto the Mandibuzz. Go for the Moonblast into the Lele, unfortunately it protects, and the Mandibuzz does get the Tailwind off, so it will be outspeeding both of my Pokemon this next turn. Now we have to be careful of the, obviously there's a pending foul play that could come out onto the Garchomp, and obviously the Moonblast as well, and I don't think we'll be able to take a Moonblast, so I think what I'm going to do is just go for a Rock Slide again, and I'm going to go for a Moonblast this time into the Mandibuzz, because the Mandibuzz is more likely, I would imagine, to carry, oh well, no, both of them are likely to carry Taunt, so we just need to keep that in mind. See the Mandibuzz go for the foul play into the Garchomp, does some good chip damage to it, taking it down to about 50%, and the Tapu Lele goes for the Dazzling Gleam, which does pick up the KO onto the Garchomp, but we will get a Moonblast off from our Tapu Lele. We do see that the Tapu Lele on my opponent's end is Life Orbed, and we should be able to pick up the KO with this Moonblast. Yeah, so that's great. So the Mandibuzz is down. And now I can at least bring my... the problem with switching in Oranguru in that turn was I didn't want Oranguru to take unnecessary damage, because then it's going to really put a kink in me being able to set up the Trick Room. So we see my opponent bring in the Garchomp. And I think what I might do here is just protect with my Oranguru and go for a Moonblast into my opponent's Garchomp. And this way I can just kind of scout out any potential taunts that are coming out as well. So see what my opponent... So it looks like we're going to see Tectonic Rage come out from the Garchomp. It's probably onto the Oranguru, just to chip it down as much as it possibly can. Yeah, so the Tectonic Rage. But we have protected, so it won't be doing as much damage. It'll still do, I would say, 25-30% damage, maybe less. Yeah, so we get away with that one quite nicely. Get another Dazzling Gleam from the opposing Tapu Lele. So we should be able to survive this without Tapu Lele and get a Moonblast off onto the Garchomp, which is huge. We again don't see any taunt come out from my opponent's Tapu Lele. And we get the Moonblast off onto the Garchomp, which does pick up the KO and puts us in a really nice position. So we did take a little bit of Life Orb damage, but we can try and get this Trick Room up now for the Torkoal to come in and start sweeping up at the last point of this match. So my opponent's last Pokemon is the Tapu Koko. We know there's no Z moves coming out, so it's just a question of whether my Oranguru can survive being doubled into here. So I'm going to go for a Trick Room, and actually, you know, I don't want to get caught where I'm going to go for a Z Trick Room, just because both of these could have Taunt, and I don't want to get caught out where I'm stuck without the Trick Room, because I really need the Trick Room at this point to kind of pull this match around. And I'm just going to go for a Psychic into the Tapu Koko with my Lele, just in case I do get the attack off. But I would imagine my opponent doubling in to possibly the Oranguru, trying to KO it before it can, yeah. So it's definitely in Dazzling Gleam range here. We're not going to be able to get any attacks off. No. Oh, that's super unfortunate. Right, yeah. And I don't think there's really much we can do now, because we've got the Torkoal to come in, but it's not going to be able to deal with either Tapu Lele or Tapu Koko by itself, unfortunately. It is going to get doubled into, and I'd imagine a combination of Thunderbolt and the Psychic will be enough to kind of take it out. So poor old Torkoal against the world. And we'll just I don't know, yeah. So I'm just going to go for a Flamethrower into the Tapu Koko. There's no point in going for the Eruption, because I will be getting hit before I can get that off. So Tapu Koko goes for the T-Bolt. Huge damage, picking up a easy KO. So that probably, I think, is a Specs Tapu Koko, or it would kind of appear to be. Anyway, good games to my opponent. It's a bit unfortunate that we didn't lose that. It's just a bit mismanagement. I think they're picking our turns with when we want to get the Trick Room up. My opponent just made it very hard for me once the Tailwind went up. I probably should have led a bit differently in that match, and went for the Trick Room, knowing that my opponent had the Tailwind with the Mandibuzz in the bank that he could kind of pull out at any time, and that just, it proved to be a bit too much there. So that's food for thought going into future matches against a similar archetype, and just kind of set up a bit differently. But guys, we'll wrap things up there. We've had a couple of good games today, entertaining at least. We had a good win game 1. Well, I'm going to say it was a win game 1, because even though the disconnect, we were in such a good position at the end of the game. And then we've just had a bit of a bad loss there, but it's something to look back on and kind of reflect upon. So we'll call it a day, and until tomorrow, I will see you then. So if you've enjoyed the episode, guys, as always, please leave a like. It is massively appreciated. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get all the daily updates with when School of Hard Knocks videos are coming out, the team review videos, and the QR code series, which we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. So subscribe and you will be in for a treat, a flurry of all those. And until tomorrow, guys, you take care of yourselves, and I will see you later. So until then, bye bye.